After Queen Elizabeth II died on September 8, 2022, at the age of 96, King Charles III took her place. Now that Charles is king, some royal family titles have changed. For example, Camilla Bowles is now Queen Consort, and Prince William is now Prince of Wales, Duke of Cornwall, and Cambridge. The former Prince of Wales's responsibilities have also changed, since he is now the head of state. With so many changes in the British monarchy, it's only natural for people to be curious about the new king. So here are some truths about Prince Charles that you should know. At school, he was a victim of bullies. Even kings and queens could be teased by kids in school. King Charles went to boarding school in Scotland, and it wasn't the best time for him. His classmates made fun of him, which made him want to be alone. Robert Jobson wrote in Charles at 70, Thoughts, Hopes, and Dreams, that bullies would make slurping noises when one of his classmates talked to him. This was meant to show that his classmates were sucking up. The teen put on a brave face at school, but he didn't try to hide his pain from his family. He is a huge fan of leftovers. It's clear that putting leftovers in Tupperware isn't very royal, but King Charles's dislike of food waste is stronger than his desire for more fresh food. If we made roasted lamb and there were leftovers, we'd probably go and make shepherd's pie the next night, the former royal chef Carolyn Robb told a biographer. The prince was very thrifty and thought that nothing should be thrown away. If there was food left over, it would be used in some way. If it wasn't for him, it was reused the next day for a meal. Clive Addington, who used to be King Charles's private secretary, said that Charles would even save leftovers from tea and eat them again and again until they were gone. He supports eating organic foods. King Charles ran the Duchy Home Farm for more than 30 years. There, he used organic farming methods to raise cattle, pigs, and sheep. He has spoken out about the need for a change in agriculture. At the Soil Association event, he said the very future of humanity may depend to a very large extent on a mainstream transition to more sustainable farming practices, based, of course, on organic principles. And people say that the King of England does what he preaches. Former royal chef Darren McGrady says that he will always bring a lot of organic food to the royal family's Christmas party. He works all the time. The BBC documentary, Prince, Son and Heir, Charles, his son, and his successor, say that when he was Prince of Wales, Charles worked 7 days a week. He usually started work after breakfast and often worked until midnight. In the documentary, Prince Harry said of his father, he does need to slow down. This is a man who has dinner ridiculously late at night and then goes to his desk later that night and will fall asleep on his notes to the point where he'll wake up with a piece of paper stuck to his face. Camilla Bowles, his wife, says that's the reason he works so hard is because he would like to change the world. He has contributed to a large number of charitable organizations. In order for Charles to fulfill his responsibilities as king, it is likely he will have to reduce the amount of time he spends volunteering for charitable causes. In his capacity as Prince of Wales, he served as patron or president of over 400 different organizations. He donated money to a wide variety of causes, including hospices, horticulture, rugby clubs, and orchestras. He is the author of a book for young readers. King Charles wrote The Old Man of Loughnagar in 1980. It was based on a story he told his younger brothers, Andrew and Edward, about a Scottish man when they were young. Since then, the children's book has been adopted into an animated film, a musical, and a ballet, with proceeds going to the Prince's Trust, which is Prince Charles's charity for children and young adults who are in precarious situations. He had fallen for Camilla before meeting Diana. According to Charles at 70, when Charles was 23 years old, one of his friends from university introduced him to Camilla in the hopes that the two would develop a romantic relationship. The relationship between the two moved quickly, and Charles developed strong feelings for Camilla. Unfortunately for the king, the woman he loved was still in love with her own ex-lover, Camilla Parker Bowles. Charles appeared to have a chance with the girl of his dreams when Parker Bowles' army duty sent him to Germany. However, Charles himself left for an 8-month Navy duty in 1973, during which time he was unable to pursue this opportunity. When he finally got back, it was too late to seize the opportunity. Camilla and Parker Bowles were engaged to be married. He had no intention of actually marrying Diana. How could the seemingly perfect love story between King Charles and Princess Diana end up being such a tragedy? You can either accept the fact that their romance wasn't what it seemed to be, blame the affairs, or blame the fear caused by the paparazzi. Before getting married, the couple had only seen each other a dozen times, and even after they were engaged, Charles began to have second thoughts about the decision to propose. According to Charles at 70, at the time, he was telling his friends he wanted to get out of the wedding because he really hadn't gotten to know his fiancée. Why then do people get married if they are not really in love? Later on, Charles shared with his closest friend that things were very different in those days. It was impossible to stop the power and influence of the media from driving events in the direction of a confrontation. He has acted in Shakespeare plays. King Charles is known to be a patron of the arts, particularly when it comes to the works of William Shakespeare. In 1991, he gave a speech in which he referred to Shakespeare as the world's greatest playwright, perhaps the world's greatest poet. He even appeared in a skit for the BBC's Shakespeare Live in 2016. It's possible that his fondness for Shakespeare stems from his teenage years, when he starred as Exeter in his school's production of Henry V and went on to land the lead role in Macbeth. Since then, he's had a soft spot for Shakespeare. Some worry that his strong views could get him in trouble. As a member of the royal family, you have to support public causes, but it's against the Constitution for the monarch to say anything about politics. Charles had a history of getting involved in politics before he became king. In the 1980s, he criticized a number of government-backed building projects in London, and he has talked passionately about climate change. Some people worry that this wouldn't help him when he became king, but in a BBC documentary, he put to rest worries that he wouldn't be able to keep his political beliefs as a prince separate from his need to be a neutral as a king. He said, "I'm not that stupid." He has an open mind about religion. Since Henry VIII broke with the Catholic Church in 1530, English and British monarchs have been called the defender of the faith at their coronations. This is a promise to uphold the Church of England. Queen Elizabeth II was a devout Anglican, but King Charles has hinted that he might not believe in only one religion. In an interview in 1994, he said he would rather be called defender of faith than defender of the faith. He later said that when he's crowned, he'll use the traditional words, but Charles, at 70, says that won't stop him from promoting dialogue between different faiths. He has learned a lot about the Quran, Judaism, and Catholicism. He has also gone to Catholic Mass and made it a point to visit Christian, Sikh, Muslim, and Hindu communities when he was on official business. He has said, "The future surely lies in rediscovering the universal truth that dwells at the heart of these religions." He can laugh at himself. Robert Jobson's book, Charles at 70, says that King Charles once asked his staff what they thought of the bust of him that had been given to him as a gift over the years. When the staff said, "Very good likeness, sir," Prince Charles said, "Yes, but they always get one thing right: my bloody ears." Okay guys, that's pretty much it for this video. If you liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you again in the next one.